appear in history when you break it down in the Greek. So it isn't a becoming in the sense of I'm not something and then I'm going to become something. It's the same word when you look in the Greek Old Testament that's used when it says, God said, let there be light, and light appeared in history. Now, did God create the light, or was the light already true? And then it appeared. Because who is the light?
Jesus.
Well, did God create Jesus, or was Jesus always?
He always was from the beginning.
Notice how John starts. It's very interesting because John starts off with, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Then he starts talking about how, and the light entered the earth, and the light was the light that light up every man that came into the earth. Then he goes into, and to all those who receive. Receive means to grab a hold. So first he says, Jesus is the light that came into the earth. Let there be light. Light appeared in history. It doesn't mean it was created. It doesn't mean it wasn't and then it became. It means it appeared in history. Okay? Then it says, this light that appeared in history, it is the light that lights up every human being that comes into the earth. This light that appeared in history, the Word that was made flesh in a human being, has now given a testimony about all human beings. And to every human being that receives, lambano in Greek, to every human being who grabs a hold of that testimony and makes use of it for themselves, they shall receive strength to appear in history as who and what God called them through the Word made flesh.
So, Greg, from the human experience, we become. Oh, just because we never knew, we did not see who we truly were. So from our experience, we do become.
Yes.
But it's not from the fact that we weren't.
Right.
It's because the fact that we never knew.
Yes.
He reveals this to be
It's a
true.
revelation. Yes.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something become true for us.
Right.
That's right.
It didn't become true for God.
Right.
That's right.
Yes.
That's
Right?
right.
And that's why it gets hairy for people trying to understand it. And it does require explanation and teaching. Because it is something that wasn't true for us. We didn't know. Right? We didn't know, but that didn't mean it wasn't true.
Yeah.
See?
That's been the journey for most of us over the last 6 years, is that we didn't know and now we know.
Right.
It's been a journey of revelation.
That's right.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So that's what John says there. To those who grab a hold of this truth and make use of it, just means you believe it. I believe that this light that entered the earth in Jesus, I believe this is the Father's testimony. This is God's testimony about me. This is God's testimony about what He's always thought of me, what He's always intended to do with my life, how He's always intended to give me life free from my works, how He's always intended to love me with all of His being, how He's always intended to save me from that which harms me. I believe that's the true testimony. To all those who believe that, that testimony dwells in them and it strengthens them to appear in history as the sons and daughters of God. Right? So the crux of the matter is appearing in history. Not whether we are or not. But what Mo says is absolutely 100% the truth. Is that it became true for us because we didn't think it was true. Right? That's why we were lost. So it did become true for us, but that didn't mean that it was a truth that didn't exist before we knew it was true. That's the difference.
That's why in 1 John, when he says, and this is the testimony, that God has given us eternal life. Well, did He give us eternal life before we had eternal life? Or had experienced eternal life? Absolutely. Eternal life was given, but we don't experience until we grab hold of that.
Yeah.
You know?
But He'd
That's
always
why-
promised eternal life.
But it's always been there.
Yeah.
Yep.